Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins, along with my brother Brent, we've got a special report for you. Eyewitness testimony, we've got it. Coming in from Pelican Harbor Park, Miami, Florida, captured August 12th, something in the sky? Watch this. We're looking at something that is apparently two photographs captured from Mitch Smith, and we've got the eyewitness testimony. He submitted it to us.
So I would like to thank Third Phase of Moon for getting back to me so fast when I contacted them about my alleged UFO sighting here at Pelican Harbor Park in Miami, Florida, which took place on August 11th, 2023. This is the exact site where I was taking pictures. I do editorial stock photography. So in doing my editorial stock photography, I'm always taking pictures. I got a new camera, I'm not used to it, so I was going through all the menu options to try and take a picture of the skyline. In doing so, I was focused on the menu of the camera. I was not really looking at the skyline. My wife, who's recording now, was standing right here. She was just looking about, and she saw the object, but didn't think much of it because why would you? You're not, why would you? It's just one of those things. It's in the background, you're not paying attention, whatever. When I got home to edit the pictures that I took here, I noticed right away that in two frames I caught an object that does not have blades or a propeller or wings. It doesn't look like a conventional aircraft. It was flying this way in the pictures. So the two frames that I caught it in show it first, we're right over here, and then the third picture I isolated to clean it up to show that it doesn't have wings and it doesn't look like to have any conventional propulsion systems like any engines that you can clearly detect. So I'm here recreating the scene to show you that I was taking pictures of the Miami skyline, and this is where the incident took place. So I think I caught an alleged UFO by accident. That's what I'm making this video for. You tell me.
Well, absolutely. Mitch Smith has submitted this to us, and we appreciate submissions from around the world. We're asking you, the public, what your thought process is in regards to some of this information coming in. Even more testimony. Listen.
So here we are in Pelican Harbor Park, Miami, Florida, recreating the scene where I caught an alleged UFO on Friday, August 11th, 2023. I was going through the menu settings on my new camera because I do editorial stock photography, so I don't know the settings. So I was going through the settings to try and take a picture of the skyline, which is here. Going through the settings of the camera, I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on in the sky. My wife, who was next to me, she was, but didn't say anything. She just thought it was a regular plane, because why would you look? You don't think you're going to see an alleged UFO. So after taking the pictures, going home and editing them, I realized that going through the pictures right away, I caught an anomalous object. The object did not have a propeller, did not have blades, did not have wings, has very angular lines, very almost straight lines. I mean, the picture speaks for itself. I only caught it in two frames. The other frame is the one that I isolated to help clean it up. I would like to thank Third Phase of Moon for getting back to me really, really quickly after I sent them the footage, and they asked me to do this recreation here for them to use. But I think I caught a alleged UFO. It's very clear in the pictures. And then here's the where I took the picture. It's the skyline of Miami. And this is the exact spot.
Well, there you go. The breakdown, the reporting, as we do at Third Phase Moon, reaching out to the eyewitnesses as they submit the phenomenon to us. Again, we don't have the exact answers for you. We can speculate. Brent, what's your thought process on this?
Yeah, he's working on nighttime footage right here. And when you're a photographer, you try to do this. It's a little interesting, and it's a challenge to get night photography. I'm thinking the wife said that she saw a plane. Could this be a little bit of overexposure of the lens and creating this artifacting open exposure effect on the plane, making it look elongated?
You just never know, but this is a correspondence as we do it at Third Phase. We're happy to share the evidence as it comes in, whether we figured it out or not. Now, more footage just submitted to us. This is shocking footage right now I can't explain to you what we're looking at, and we're going to get some incredible imagery of the phenomenon. Listen. So when I first watched this video, Brent was sharing it with me just a few moments ago. I didn't know what to make of it, and I still, at this moment, have no idea what we're looking at. I added some stabilization, some enhancements here to make out whatever this anomalous object in the sky. Again, donut shaped. It rings at one point as a perfect orb and then turns into this ring of fire. But again, I don't have any explanation. I've never seen a drone quite like this. Brent, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, this is incredible technology. Could it be one of ours? We just don't know. Look at this thing. It's like this elastic electric band that's doing these rotations and opening and closing within these weird things that we've never seen before. This is outstanding. It's a UFO. We just don't know what it is. What's the energy behind it? Here's some filters we're putting in there just to kind of bring out a closer contrast. Again, you can just see this thing open and close like this static electric band. It's crazy. I just don't know what this is.
You know, it's definitely plasmic, and it's not, in my opinion, some kind of solid object. Whatever we're looking at, again, seems to be electrified. And again, I'm not aware of any kind of craft, propulsion craft that exists that could do these kind of things. It almost seemingly defies the laws of physics. I'm not saying it does, but maybe somebody cracked the code of technology that has been hidden from us for a long, long time. And speaking of that, we've got Michael Schratt, aerospace historian, with the new crash retrieval case. Listen up.
I have prepared another presentation here, and what I want to do in this presentation is I want to revisit some of these historical cases that I've covered before, but this time I've got new illustrations, new drawings, new full color renderings that I thought justified kind of a revisit on some of these cases. So let's go ahead and jump right in here, and we'll move to the first case. This is C-119 flying boxcar, Sierra Madre Valley, Mexico, prior to 1951. Now, I believe it was around 1948 where this actually took place. And you can see here in this picture, this is an actual C-119 flying boxcar. Source for this was UFO Crash Retrievals, page 32. And if you look at the bottom here, we're talking about a 9-foot diameter disc-shaped craft, and at least 2 ET bodies were recovered. So we've got this highway engineer, he's this construction engineer, and he was asked to assist in a crash retrieval. Now, question is, how do we know what the diameter of the saucer was in this particular retrieval? And I'm going to take you to the next slide here and explain how we calculated this. So if you look at the inside cargo bay of a C-119, research indicates that the interior thickness of the cargo bay is 9 feet 10 inches wide. That means the craft can't be any more than 9 feet in diameter. That allows 5 inches of clearance on either side. So that's how we gauged what the diameter of the craft was. And we'll move forward here. And now you can see coming into view here, Rudy Gardea's drawing of the craft being loaded into aft cargo bay doors. You can see the clamshell doors have been opened, and they're loading this craft in. So this construction engineer was asked to assist in this crash retrieval. And at this point, we'll go ahead and move on to the next full color rendering here. And now you see this is by Joseph Wraith. The retrieval operation is now in full swing. We've got some bodies kind of in the foreground here. The clamshell doors have been opened up, and now you can see them on this ramp moving the craft into the aft bay of the C-119. I'm going to zoom in here so that you kind of get a better look at what we're dealing with here. And now you can see this retrieval operation. I just wonder what it would be like to actually be here. Can all these crash retrievals be true? Are these witnesses lying to us? or are they telling us the truth? There just seems to be way too many people coming forward, and in historical times too. They can't all be lying to us. They just can't all be lying to us. So let's move to the next one here, and I'm going to give you a little bit better view of what these bodies look like. Now, this is according to a VIP. The source here was a VIP, and he's mentioned in the chapter in the book within the Leonard Stringfield dictation notes, and also within his status reports that have been published into one volume. And this VIP keeps being mentioned in this particular volume, and we're going to identify who this person is. But let me just hit you with what was said here. "Ah, senor," he said, "they were handsome, those little men with fine features and beautifully formed hands, but there must have been an explosion in their craft, for they were burnt black, and when I touched the face of one of them, the skin came off under my fingers as though it had been cooked." So is this another one of these instances where one of these craft were shot down by the military-industrial complex? That might be the case here. So this is our main man here, General George C. Marshall. He's mentioned in the Stringfield book as one of the persons that was very much familiar with crash retrievals during World War II, after World War II, Army Chief of Staff during World War II. This is the man to do some research on and do some digging. So that's exactly what I did. And if you move forward here, his papers are part of the George C. Marshall Foundation. And so I dug up and found out where this was. And if you look at it's kind of a finding aid here. And what we're interested in looking at is this part here that says Secretary of Defense, 1950 to 1952. And then it also says over here, 1945 to 1947, Secretary of State. That's what we want to look for. Those are the correct dates for the records to pull. So I may end up going here and pulling some records. Maybe there's something there, but it's important that we run these to ground and leave no stone unturned. So that is the C-119 Flying Boxcar case. All right, next one. Naval Air Station, Sunnyvale, California, Hangar 1, which still exists today. You can go to this hangar. It's massive. It's so massive that it has its own weather. It's just unbelievable. Durward Buddy Hawk was a radar observer. He crashed in an airplane crash near San Diego many, many, many years ago, no longer with us, but he's the primary source of this particular retrieval operation case. And the source is UFO Crash Retrievals, case B5, page 57. So I'm going to set this up here. He walks through a double door. Initially, there wasn't a guard in the hangar. And when he got inside the hangar, what did he see? He sees a large, approximately 100-foot diameter dish-shaped craft. It had a series of windows wrapped around the outer circumference of the craft, and then he was challenged by a guard and told to get out of there immediately. So he did see this craft there. And now I'm just going to go back up one here. This is what this witness said, and I've got it at the bottom here. Quote, "It was certainly no aircraft of ours." So this is another one of these cases where military sources are coming to us. They're telling us their testimony that they're seeing these dish-shaped craft, the ET bodies, the debris, the craft, the pathologists, the reports from different hospitals. They're all telling us this motif, this story that we're piecing together here. All right, next one. Classified Materials Library at an unknown U.S. Air Force base. This was a former military officer. The source is UFO Crash Retrievals, page 212 to 213. So this gentleman had the right clearances to be in the right place at the right time. He's in this materials library. See, he opens up one of these file drawers and he pulls out a file, and Rudy's done a very good job giving you an idea of what this thing actually looked like. In the file was a report on a crash retrieval in Farmington, New Mexico, somewhere prior to 1950. And there was a black and white glossy photograph there, about a 36-foot diameter dish-shaped craft. It had a dome on top. It had a series of portholes wrapped around the outer portion of the upper dome. And then it said in the report that they were trying to use diamond tip drill bits to get into this thing. This is the fourth time I've heard this. So this is absolutely what's going on. The military industrial complex, in conjunction with the intelligence agency, are desperately trying to breach the hull of the craft of these things to reverse engineer not only their propulsion systems, but their advanced energy systems as well. And I want to go over some of the key points here. Number one, military officer had the correct security clearance, which gave him access to a classified materials library. Number two, report seen by witness made reference to crashes, plural, and that bodies were recovered. Number three, in addition, diamond tip drill bits and acetylene torches were used to gain access to the interior. Now, reference 1946 craft seen at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, which we already covered, and then 40-foot diameter craft guarded by a U.S. Marine during December of 1963, which we already covered as well. Now, point number four, eventually, technicians were able to gain access to the interior of the craft by way of a small entry hatch. The report said, referring to the door, that it was, quote, almost as if the material of the craft liquefied and then solidified again. So this is what we're hearing too. You can't even fit a razor blade between the seams of these door hatches. They appear to be so completely integrated into the outer exterior skin of the craft as though it's liquid metal. That's what we're dealing with here. Okay, now, why is Farmington important in all of this? Why is Farmington important? Well, that's very important because of something called the Farmington Armada. Now, this is Albuquerque Journal, March 18th, 1950. Hundreds at Farmington report large force of flying saucers. So this would have been the 17th of March, 1950. And there were literally 500 dish-shaped craft that were seen by multiple witnesses over Farmington, New Mexico.
If you want to watch more of this investigative report by Michael Schratt, aerospace historian, we're going to be supplying the original link below in the description. Blue Room Media. It's good to see Michael back with regards to his information. He's got such insight to the crash retrieval phenomenon. It blows us away right here at Third Phase of Moon, and I'm sure it's going to blow you away if you check out Blue Room Media and all the archives of the crash retrieval that Michael Schratt has obtained. Quite incredible. Brent, any last words here?
Yeah, Blue Room Media is blowing up. We just saw Michael Schratt right now. He's at like 9,000 plus subscribers. Let's get it up to 10,000. And let's all subscribe. And when you tell Michael, tell him Third Phase of Moon sent you.
Absolutely. Michael Schratt's on the front line, the tip of the spear. We're happy to have him as a correspondent as we roll out disclosure in the way of the public, not what the military is going to tell us, not what our Congress or the office at the highest level, they're not going to tell us the truth. We're going to do it together. The public is where it's at, and if you've captured anything amazing, don't hesitate. Upload that video to YouTube, copy, paste it to my email. It's in the description below. Everybody, be safe, and if you want to catch up on what's really going on in the UFO world, go take a look at our latest documentary, UFO Endgame to Disclosure. It's available worldwide. That link will be down in the description below. We'll see you next time.
It's a mind-blowing situation. For the public, it's like, oh, a conspiracy theory, it's entertaining. But if you're actually in a responsible position and you find out that there's a whole secret government program that you don't know about, it's a shock.
This report comes from a shadowy Pentagon department that was shut down in 2012.
The disclosure movement has been hijacked by people parroting the narrative and the script being written by these black projects. I would say 90+% of everything that's going to come out is false.
The most widely seen UFO right now is not alien, it's actually ours.
It's a great cover story for all kinds of criminal activities. Blame it on the aliens, right?
If we are being visited by interdimensional beings, we should know about it.
This has the big disadvantage of the truth being much more unbelievable than the fiction.
It's the crash retrievals that are the Rosetta Stone for solving the UFO cover-up.
The implications of this is the difference between extinction level civilization versus one that's going to take off to the stars.